I started oil painting last year and I wanted to share with you some of my tips. This painting was executed in 1 week on a flat panel canvas. I still have to improve and to learn, but I did make progress, and here are my tips to level up your skills. Organize your workspace environment before oil painting. This helps me a lot to stay focused while I paint. Every item has its place when I paint. My palette stays in one place. I know where to rest the current brushes I'm using for the painting I'm doing. I have some tissue at hand to clean my brushes in between brush strokes. I put as well in one little glass jar a bit of oil and in another glass jar a bit of medium next to me if needed. All these little elements help me to relax and to focus only on my painting. Also, I don't like painting in a mess and to mess up my environment while painting. My painting space is small. If I have painting on my hands, for example, I wash my hand immediately, then I continue. So before painting, before oil painting especially, I really advise you to really organize your space and to make your space always clean around you. Always know what you are going to paint. Actually, this piece of advice is for all art mediums. I could do more oil studies, but I prefer to work on a composition even if I know the result will be very different from what I have in my mind. Some artists sketch beforehand what they are going to oil paint. I'm not really into this type, but I know it helps. However, I gather as much as possible references images for all parts of my paintings to get as close as possible to reality, even if my style of painting are still very imaginative. It is pointless to paint on a very big surface if you don't know what you are going to paint. It is better to work on a small surface and to know what you are going to paint and to perfect your art. All paintings are expensive art supplies, so I think you should know what you are going to paint. Be patient and stay focused. I have to say, oil painting can be very discouraging sometimes, especially when you start. Be ready to see no result the first day of painting. The painting slides and the forms emerge slowly. Just keep covering the surface and add layers after layers. Stop painting when you see there is no progress. It probably means that the oil needs to dry a bit and settle on the canvas or paper. When you stop, it allows you also to step back, to plan ahead in your head your painting, and see with new eyes your painting when you start again. You really need also to be aware of how oil painting is reacting on the canvas or paper. When it is too dry, for example, you need to add oil. I think you need to use the medium only at the beginning. It's what I'm doing for my part. Maybe people, other artists are doing differently, but I think for me it's the best method. Then afterward, you continue with oil paint and a bit of oil. The oil I use here for this painting is safflower oil instead of linseed oil. Safflower oil keeps the white intact, and linseed oil can make white appear yellowish. I decided to change oil because for this painting I'm using a lot of cool tone and I wanted the white to stay intact. So that's why I decided to invest in some safflower oil this time. Also for this painting I decided to tone the panel with a bit of brown oil painting mixed with a thinner, and I let it dry before starting the painting. control your brush strokes and progress in all parts at the same time. I prefer in general to use soft brushes. You can be rough at the beginning, but you need to put oil paint in every part of the composition, I would say. I do think you have to be an expert oil painter to start with, for example, just the face or the hand in a very detailed manner. Every part of the composition of your painting, I think, should really move on at the same time to keep a cohesion in color and tone as well all over the canvas. The more you move on, the more the brush strokes should be controlled and be more precise as well. Work also on your transition between each color. Usually with oil painting, you just start by putting down the color on the canvas, then you will buff or blend delicately to get the effect you desired. Try to use the same brushes for the light colors and use completely different brushes for the very dark color like black or blue. You keep the color like this as clean as possible. Keep also as long as possible the same palette with all the ranges of colors that you are working on. Enjoy the process, even with the lows and the downs. Try as much as you can to enjoy the process. I found out that oil painting can be very, very overwhelming and stressful because I could not see the result I wanted immediately. I was really impatient. But I learned to calm down and to wait. If a part does not work, I will work on another part, then come back later to the other part I don't like. If I'm frustrated, I stop and do something else. But please don't give up. I prefer to continue and to finish instead of redoing it completely again. I just accept when finally I cannot do something well, and I tell myself that I learn from my mistakes and that next time I will do better. Also, I look at what other oil artists are doing. I try not to compare myself, which is very difficult, but I'm trying to learn from their techniques. Also, I'm trying to appreciate or celebrate the moment I managed to paint something quite well or to resolve a problem that I thought I wouldn't manage to paint. And yes, so this is my final tips. Try to enjoy even if you find this difficult, but if you don't enjoy, you're not going to paint well. So here are my little tips, my little advice I learned from oil painting, and I've still continuing to learn. This is my journey and I just wanted to share with you. So I'm very curious to know what are your tips as well regarding oil painting. Please share your tips in the comment box below. We can all discuss it. Please also, if you can subscribe and like this video if possible. I'm sharing on this channel my art journey. I just love to experiment with all kind of medium in art. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you for the next one. Bye bye.